Hello, mate.
All right, how you doing?
I'm not bad. How are you?
Yeah, all good. Nice chill day at work. I did fuck all.
You'd be saying that on a pod.
That's a good point, but not many people listen anyway. So, yeah, how
Fair
about
enough.
you?
Yeah, just same thing, different day, really.
Same
Nothing
shit.
new,
Yep,
which is
still
yeah, it's fine. Keeps me going.
decent. Yeah, and you're moving house soon, so I bet you can't wait.
Boxes and boxes, and yeah, it's getting to the point now where it's becoming a little bit stressful.
Yeah, because you move on Friday, and we're obviously recording this on the Monday, so you're getting to the point now where you're basically just living on what's in the fridge, and everything else is just packed away.
Yeah, we literally just cooked for the whole week, and we just shoved whatever we had in the fridge, and we just kind of went. If it lasts until Thursday night, that'll be great. If it doesn't, we don't really know what's going to happen.
You're just gonna starve.
Pretty much, yeah. Tesco meal deal, I think, at best.
Nice, love that. So today we thought we would talk about our ideas over the best and worst sports that we find as, and this is we're going to kind of split this into two. So the first one will be kind of to play, like when we actually play it, and then the second part will be as viewers and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I've been quite lucky to have tried out a bunch of different sports, and the one that I absolutely hated the most was basketball. I don't know about you, I just can't stand it. Like, it's so fast, and I'm just a slow bastard. Like everything I do is laboured and slow. So you chuck me into this sport where I struggle with hand-eye coordination at the best of times, and also you try and get me to move quickly, and I was just like, "Fuck this shit."
I can just imagine like a turtle on its shell trying to like get off onto its front. That's you playing basketball.
Yeah, that is literally me. Just kind of like, help! What am I doing? I didn't get a single rebound. I didn't hit any points at all. I couldn't dribble and I couldn't shoot. I was useless. I literally, occasionally on defense, I would just push people, which you're not supposed to do, but I got away with it.
No, but basketball's quite physical, isn't it? Because they man mark quite a lot and they restrain runs and all that sort of thing, which you've got to be a big guy to do, which you're not far off, but if you're not coordinated,
Yeah,
you're only going to get so far, aren't you?
exactly. Yeah. Have you ever played basketball?
I have actually. So for the viewers or the listeners that don't know, I was actually born in Israel, and basketball was quite a big sport there. And I've had quite a few mates who actually ended up liking basketball more than football. So it was kind of like a split at lunchtimes where some of us went to play football, some of us went to play basketball. And when it used to like piss it down with rain, you used to be like, well, I'm not going outside. And we weren't allowed to play football inside. So we had a basketball court on the inside, which was basically just in the gym, like a massive, uh, like, I don't know if all the viewers will know, but those like courts inside where you have like multiple line colours, and then every single line colour is like a different court. That's basically what I think any sort of gyms in, I don't know, the Western world have, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we used to play there, and I remember I used to go back for a few summers to visit like family and that, and I used to just join in with them playing at random times, and they were generally quite good, like for me anyway, and I was horrific, and they were like restraining me, they were like stopping me with their body, and I was just like, that's cheating, you're not allowed to do that, but of course you are. I was just so shit at it.
Were you just getting really frustrated and like trying to like fucking grab them and be like, piss off?
Yeah,
That's how
because
I felt.
they were like genuinely, they knew what to do, and I was there like, just please let me go, let me shoot. Because of course, when you're just shooting hoops, you just shoot hoops, don't you? You don't really play contact. And then when there's contact, it's just like rugby or American football. It's almost like a completely different game.
Yeah, and they claim that it's a non-contact sport.
It fucking
Definitely.
is contact sport, yeah.
Yeah, and like I just hated playing basketball mainly because I was crap at it. But I feel like if I gave it enough time, I may come around to it. But it just doesn't suit me at
Yeah.
all. Like I just no, I just really struggle. Like what's the worst sports you've tried and then you've just been like, nah, fuck this.
Worst sports that I've tried. What? Probably like for the American viewers, we just call it hockey, but they probably associate that with ice hockey. So field hockey.
Yeah.
I'm not a tall guy at all, but it's the slightly bending over for the hockey stick to be touching the ground. That flipping kills my back. Like 10 minutes of that, and then my lower back's aching. And then, don't get me wrong, I like having a ball to hit, but I don't like to do that with a stick. And don't fucking take that out of context. when there's a stick involved, I just become so much more uncoordinated. Again, don't take that out of context. I can just tell by your face.
Oh, I'm mentally noting these down. When I have a stick in my hand, I'm uncoordinated. Okay.
So it just feels like, because you can only touch it from one side of the stick as well. You can't touch it with the other side of the stick. It becomes really difficult because then you've got to rotate it around. And it's like, well, it's too much to think about whilst I'm trying to hit this ball. And I'm also, in my mind, because it's a ball coming at me, I'm about to stop it with my foot and kick it. It's like, I shouldn't do that. It's not the right sport.
And you can't do that, can you? Because it's not allowed, is it?
No, so in ice hockey, I know that you can pretty much play it with any part of your body. I mean, if it goes up to your like shoulder height, you can literally grab it and put it on the ground.
Sick.
You can't, well, as far as I know, you can't do that with field hockey because it's cheating, I guess. I don't really.
Yeah, because they just have these uptight rules around. Oh no, this is the way you play.
Also, I got a really bad story I just remembered from when I was playing field hockey in year 7. So I was 11, something like that, around about 11. We were playing field hockey in my class at school, and this girl, who probably will remember if she ever hears this, she swang for the ball and she hit the ball, but she followed through up to my fucking nose. Knocked me out, didn't she?
Knocked you out?
Knocked me out, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Blood everywhere.
Broke your nose?
No. I was quite lucky, but it was literally so much blood was coming out. And I remember they had to change the section of the AstroTurf because the blood was just everywhere. And that's not even the best part of the story. She fucking denied doing it. I was like, yeah, I hit myself with a ball. Like,
I thought she hit you with the stick.
Yeah, and then me being sarcastic, I'm saying, oh yeah, I just knocked myself out for the fun
of
it.
Right.
The ball. Fucking women, eh?
Come on, get it right. Unbelievable.
Well, I know she might identify herself as a hockey stick now.
She identifies as what's it? I don't even know. Yeah, I identify as a hockey stick. Therefore, it was a complete accident in my mind somehow.
Yeah, so I think from there on, the sport never really stuck to me because I remember playing it a few years later, and every time someone swung for the ball, I almost just went up and shielded my face away. And it was almost become like a normal reaction, sort of actually jumping in front of it with my stick and defending it. It's just like, oh no, don't hit me.
Exactly, yeah. That makes total sense. Like, I'm trying to think about other sports that I've tried.
I've got quite a good one for you, actually.
Go on.
For a bad one. For me, not being a big guy, being quite a skinny bloke, and not really having that much strength in comparison to someone maybe your size, and without disrespect.
That's fine.
Rugby. I just get totally kicked ass, and I haven't got any sort of chance with anyone bigger.
I'm trying to imagine you playing rugby, and I imagine it's just so tragic.
Yeah. The only thing I can do is basically run. And even then, it's got to be in a clear line, and I can't really swerve because then that's a distraction.
Perfect. We'll make you a winger. That's all you need to do. You just run in and tap it down at the end. You do fuck all else the rest of the game.
I'll take all the credit.
Wingers do fuck all. There's your title. Because we take quotes out of context. Wingers do fuck all. I used to be
in rugby, because in football they do quite a lot.
Yeah. But I used to play rugby. I was a forward, and I oh my god, I was fucking knackered. And I only ever came close to scoring a try once, I think. And I think I did score a try, thankfully.
Did you play in it like professional level? Was it county level? What was it?
I was nowhere near good enough. I played for my school, I played for my club, and that was about it, really.
What level was your club?
Not particularly high. We got relegated, like the first full season I played with them, we got relegated into the season below. I couldn't even remember what the league was. I remember it was some kind of Sussex local league, and we lost most games that we played. But then the thing that really pissed me off, right? I turned up to every single training session, and there would be kids that like turned up sporadically, and because they went to school with the coach's son, the coach would select them and they wouldn't play me. And that was why I ended up leaving rugby, just because I got so sick of this. I was like, what's the point in showing up?
Yeah, that's really sad. Someone's dad basically dictated your enjoyment for the game.
Exactly. Like I still really enjoy watching rugby. I don't know if I could go back and play it. I think I need to bulk up quite a lot, and just become fitter in general. But that really affected my love for the game. And I still love watching rugby. I think rugby is a great sport, especially like watching the way they deal with the refs and the players, because the players like have to do everything. There's a brilliant this brilliant clip where the England captain Chris Robshaw, he's going to go to complain to the ref before Wales take a penalty, and then the ref Nigel Owens, who's the best ref ever, he goes, "Christopher, no," and then he has to run back and get on with it. You would not get that in any other sport whatsoever. They'd be effing and blinding up in their face, and that's why as a fan, I don't watch a lot of football, because I get so sick of the way the players treat the refs, and the fact that it's not a generally exciting product, personally.
Yeah, I mean, going back to rugby is one of the hardest sports to play, isn't it? Because you've got to be not only fit as an endurance fit, but also strength fit and speed fit. So you've got all these different things which you have to keep up. Whereas, say, for like an athletics runner where you're doing a 5K, 10K, you just need speed endurance, really. If you look at it without too broadly, that's the main thing that you need. Whereas in rugby, you need pretty much everything.
You need to be a complete athlete. You can't just be like in the NFL. They're very power-based athletes, and they'll do it in quick bursts and they'll have a rest. Whereas in rugby, you'll need to sprint and then recover and then sprint again straight away. There's no rest period of a minute or so. It has to be constant, and that's for 40 minutes generally, unless there's a stoppage, which tends to happen. But still, you're working pretty consistently, especially if you're a forward. And it's a rainy day. Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, it's quite a common thing when you watch rugby. You see the actual players like they've got steam coming off their head because they're so hot.
Exactly, and they're playing in the middle of winter. You're like, wow, that's fucking. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, they're probably like 40 odd degrees.
But
sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, coming back to like watching people who aren't really suited to rugby. I had a friend in school who like he was really skinny, like kind of like you are, and sort of your size. And every time we passed him the ball, he was on the wing. He would either deliberately miss it or he'd catch it and then just throw it straight out because he didn't want to get hit. I'm like, what the fuck is the point in you playing? Why? Just go get changed and fuck off.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I can't say when I've played rugby, I've almost been like, fuck it, if I have something broken on me, I'll just take it. But I never really wussied out that much. I was like, oh no, I can't catch it. Oh, and then almost drop it on purpose.
Exactly. You'll take it like a man. There's another quote to go out of context.
Took it right out of my mouth.
Shit. So are those like your top two worst sports then? You've got rugby and hockey to play, that is?
Yeah, probably.
What's your third?
don't know. I think there's quite a few. I think I've got quite a few questions on what we're counting as sport, because I've seen somewhere that apparently fishing is a sport, that apparently chess is a sport, that apparently golf is a sport. What is going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna say now the first two, fishing and chess, they're not sports at all. You're not doing anything. You just fucking sat there, just being like, why? Like it's not. It's a game. It's not sport. Sport is done with your body, surely.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It depends what the actual definition of sport is, because weren't they saying that bridge is a sport a few years ago? And weren't they saying that like
Bridge?
bridge, you know, the card game?
No.
Ask
Okay.
any old person, right? Literally on the street, be like, "Excuse me, what's bridge?" And they're going to be
Okay.
like, "It's something that crosses another road or a river." Or they're going to be like, "It's my favorite card game." And if they say it's their favorite card game, which is 99% of the time, you go and you ask them what it is and they'll explain it to
Okay.
you. So anyway, point being, they've got old people talking about them. Bowls. How is that a game? All they do is stand there like,
Eh, eh, eh.
"Oh, Roger, he's such a good score. Well done."
Anyway, off to Dignitas.
I think old people, anyone listening to this, will come to murder us. Or me, anyway.
No old people are listening to this, Dan. No people listen to this in the first place. We're fine. We're fine. Anyway, fuck old people.
Oh.
Not literally.
I don't know what you were into for a second.
Oh shit.
So, I don't know, watching, so playing other sports, maybe stuff like rounders, because I'm not sure I'm all up for sitting there watching my teammates play for about half hour, and then me standing up, be like, "Oh yeah, it's my turn," being thrown the ball, miss the ball, be like, "Oh fuck, I'm out," and then go sit back down.
Exactly. Yeah, you never ever get the big hits in. But rounders, I do not consider to be a sport at all. Nobody plays it. Well, it's but when it comes
What
to
are you
like,
saying about cricket and baseball if you don't consider rounders a sport?
uh, because they're actual, the way
You didn't think this through, did you?
I didn't think that statement through. No, I guess the way I think of it is the fact that there are people actually interested in watching cricket somehow. I've been to cricket games, and the only reason I was there was to get pissed with my mates.
Yeah, isn't that what everyone does at cricket games?
Exactly. Like I was there for a full day, and I barely watched the game, to be honest with you. The times I look forward to most were lunch and tea. But
Fuck's sake.
but yeah, like I can't really justify my statement, to be honest. I just think because there are not people training for it professionally. No one plays professional rounders unless you consider baseball.
Yeah, but there is professional cricket and baseball.
Exactly. So I guess that's where I would consider it to be a sport, and there is a clear structure within cricket for competing in things. Like there isn't a structure for competition for rounders. Like rounders is just a game you play in primary school. And like for that, I would also consider ultimate frisbee to be a sport, because there is a kind of a competition structure to it, even though no one in ultimate frisbee I think is professional, but it's a sport because there is a competition structure to it, I guess, and obviously it's physical as well.
Yeah, I just don't think there'll be enough demand to have like professional rounders. Can you imagine that? People
No.
play cricket for a living in this country, and then have
Exactly.
rounders as well.
Exactly.
Something would be going wrong.
Exactly. You're playing for 5 days, and then you've got someone.
Saying that, we're slating cricket. Have you seen the T20 cricket?
Oh yeah, I love T20.
T20 is a different sport, isn't it?
I mean, the strategies are completely different. Like, my dad is a massive cricket nerd. So every time I mention cricket to him, he'll go on a massive rant about the differences and things. Can't be asked to get into that now. But I view T20 just as a piss up with my mates, basically. Like the last time I went to a T20 game, it was sort of like a more restrained football game, because people are chanting, and well, I say people, me and my mates were pissed and chanting. Everyone else was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, so I really like T20, but like Test match can be all right. It really depends who you're going with. Like, I don't go solely to watch the cricket. I go to watch the cricket and have a laugh with my mates. If I was just watching the cricket, I'd be so fucking bored. Whereas with rugby or football, I would actually be there to watch the sport.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think for me, what has actually been the difference with traditional cricket and T20 is that T20 they've actually tried to make entertaining. They've got like flames, they've got music, they've got those chants like you say. They don't have that in traditional cricket. Traditional cricket, they flipping sit there, and it's either the extreme fans who go to watch it, or it's the people who don't have jobs go watch it.
No,
There's just no in between, is there?
Exactly. It's rich white people with money, basically, like my dad. No, literally, he has gone with clients to watch Test match cricket, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. If that's how he, not bribes them, but like convinces them to like him, then fuck it, why not? So
if they enjoy it, then yeah. If it gets some business,
yeah, exactly. But but he would also go and watch it seriously. Like, he wouldn't be there for the chanting or hanging with your mates or anything. He would be there for the cricket.
That's where I'm like, your dad's a bit crazy.
Yeah, he is a bit mental. That's where I get it from.
So, going off cricket, is there any other sports that you find boring to watch?
Boring to watch?
Yeah.
Golf is boring to watch and awful to play. My mates took me to play golf once, and I was awful. I remember I had to tee off, so I had to take the very first shot of one hole. It went over this little pond, and then it's onto a green, and I hit the ball, and then instantly it just went down into the water. I'm like, great, fantastic. I was so bad, and golf is an incredible skill, but it takes such a long time to perfect, and it's so dull to play. I've never experienced anything more dull in my life. And, to play, terrible, and to watch, even worse. Like, you see it on the TV and it's like, who is it? Rory McIlroy. Oh, he's taken a shot. Oh, it's fallen in the water. Oh dear, what a shame. Anyway, back to another old white man. A crusty old white man. He's just going.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you.
Level there. It's not quite level. I might have to adjust to the right slightly.
Got to get my little laser to aim it, so it's all right. And then I've got to lick my finger, stick it up, check for the wind.
Honestly, to watch is painful, and to play is even worse. Fuck golf.
That escalated.
Yep, I stand by my statement.
So with golf, it's just one of those things that takes so flipping long, doesn't it?
Have you ever played?
The closest I've gotten to, I don't know if you know of Top Golf.
Is this like some crazy golf shit?
No. So of course I've played like mini golf and crazy golf, but is that a sport?
No.
Anyway, Top Golf, it's some people might have heard of it. It's a very big American franchise where they have chips in the balls, and what you do is you put it through the system where it registered the ball, and it registers it to your name. And you've got this big like golfing range in front of you, which is essentially like bowling, where you just smash the ball, and you've got well, I guess it's like, depending on which hole you get it in, is the amount of points you get it for it. So of course,
Oh,
the further down you get it and more central into the hole, because these holes are like 10 meters in radius, so they're massive, and some of them are smaller, and that's where you get it closer to the hole, you get more points. So the further down you get it and closer to the hole, you get more points. That's the closest I've gotten to. It's not the same as golf, because of course you're not aiming into the little hole that's like this big. But I've played crazy golf, mate. If we're going to go play crazy golf anytime soon, you better get ready, because I'm very good.
I'm so utterly terrified, Dan.
You better be.
Yeah. I just can't wait for that. I'm just so excited to play more golf.
Your voice says it all.
Exactly, yeah. This is like every viewer right now, like, oh, cool, more golf. I can't fucking wait.
Every viewer right now is.
Oh, yeah. Exactly, mate. Yeah, so like okay, so I've got my top two worst, which is golf and basketball. What was my third? Shit. That's going to really annoy me now. Oh, that's so annoying. Tennis. That's it. Tennis can get fucked as well. Because again, I have no hand-eye coordination and I'm slow.
So is that to play or is that to watch? Sorry.
To play.
Okay.
It's quite interesting to watch tennis, but to play, forget it. You can forget about it. Forget about it. No way. So, your favourite sports to play?
To play? Oh, probably table tennis. It's got to be up there. I just love it. You don't really move a lot, and then you hit this little ball which you can smash and then hit the other person right on the nose.
Yep, I've had that before. I've also been hit in the crotch as well, which is fun.
Well, considering the ball doesn't weigh anything, so it doesn't really...
Yeah, exactly. Don't take that out of context. I've been hit in the crotch again.
I've got a funny story for tennis. In my first year at uni, I got really bored, so I put the telly on and I started watching tennis. And
wow, you must have been bored.
I was, yeah. And all you heard was, oh, oh. As you hear that, I'm there, like, not really making anything of it. I'm just doing my own thing in the background. Anyway, this was like late on in the evening. It's about 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, and I'm just getting ready for bed or whatnot, doing my own thing. Next day, I've got lectures in the morning. First thing in the morning, I walk out the door. My neighbour's like, "Oh, you're right. How are you?" I'm like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you? He's like, "I know this is not any of my business, but would you mind having sex a little bit quieter? It's really loud last night." I was just there like, no, okay, yeah.
But the tennis isn't even on that late.
I think it must have been like a replay. I don't know.
I love that. That's fucking awesome. I never thought someone would actually like fall for that, because it sounds so exaggerated. Some of those noises that
maybe he thought it was porn, but then he was like, "I'm not going to be too rude because you might not be alone, so I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt."
Just be a bit subtle with the whole. Can you wear headphones when you listen to porn, please? Listen to porn? Watch porn.
Some people could listen. I don't know.
Who's listening to porn? Well, this is porn for your ears right now, so I hope you're enjoying it.
Well, hey.
So, table tennis is one of yours. What else? Surely swimming.
No. Indoor football, five-a-side football is brilliant.
Oh, really? I think I played it once, and again, it's really quick version of the game. And me being me, just like, oh no. I sawed someone in half again with my slide tackle and took their ankles out.
The five-a-side football in hockey goals is the most fun thing ever. because you can't, like, of course, it's not just a goal that's down to your hips, and it's not the futsal. I think futsal, yeah. I
Yeah,
think if you play futsal, that's a hockey goal, isn't it?
yeah.
That's so much fun because all you do is you basically run around with the ball, do tricks, and then it's like just a kickabout in a smaller field. So you enjoy having more of the time on the ball rather than running around without the ball on a pitch.
Yeah, I guess you get, as an average, I guess you get more time with the ball and more time to do things, which if you can play football, that sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, and to be fair, watching it, when I lived in Germany for a bit, I would watch people play indoor futsal, and it looked pretty sick to play, but I just knew that I would get shredded like the second I stepped on that pitch. So I was like, no
Yeah,
way.
because futsal isn't really a physical game. You can't really tackle
Yeah, you
as
can't
you
really
would in
do
normal
much, can
football.
you?
So you just have to kind of just be like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to get nutmegged about 17 times, but I'm just going to try and reduce it to 15.
If I can get it down from 17 to 15, that'll be a good day.
Yeah, good achievement.
That reminds me as well, being in Germany. Like, one of my favorite sports to play by far was handball. Now, it's obviously like an indoor version of football. And I played defense, and it's a physical sport, which somebody told me. The guy told me, okay, you can push people and everything, and it's great. And I was like, okay, perfect. And this little German kid who's used to playing football, right? He comes running past me with the ball. And so I just shove him as he's about to shoot at the goal. And he falls over and he slides across the floor for ages and ages and ages before slamming into the wall. And I'm like, have I killed him? Is he all right? And I looked to the ref, who was the German handball lecturer, I guess, because it was a handball class, handball module. And he was like, it's okay, it's all good, you can play on. I'm like, sweet. So I did it again as the kid was about to jump, and then he fell over on his shoulder, and he was like pretending to be hurt, and then I got in trouble, and I was like, fuck. But I really enjoyed that because of the physicality and all of it, because otherwise I'd have just been, it would have been like basketball where I would have just got shredded the whole time. I was able to actually use my body.
Yeah.
The guy, when he first looked at me, like my first time ever playing, he was like, you're big, so you play defense. I'm like, cool. So I spent the whole semester just shoving people, even when they didn't deserve it. I probably broke the rules somehow, but it was one of the most fun classes I had for that whole semester.
That's pretty good. I've always found that with handball, my shoulder tends to go quite quickly. I know it's a bit stupid. So when you throw it, my shoulder, I don't know if it's because I'm not doing a right warm up or I just don't have enough strength in my shoulder muscles to actually throw that ball. But it always, I never really played it properly, but it's just chucking it, into the goal and whatnot.
Well,
always felt that my shoulder ended up catching within like 15, 20 minutes.
One thing I noticed, and it's the same with boxing as well, where it's also about the rotation of your core as much as it is the torque that you're able to produce from your shoulder. So if you're able to contract all the muscles in your core and use that to rotate yourself, you will generate more force when you throw. And that's how you are able to throw faster and kind of protect your shoulder. And I found that to be really useful, as opposed to just relying on your shoulder. Because I still haven't got a good throw, but I can kind of get I can produce more power. And also, if you're standing there as well, you can produce power all the way through your legs as well by driving into the ground, rotating, and also using your arm as kind of like like a whip in a way to generate more force onto the ball. So that's how you can do it. But I never really attacked much. I just kind of defended and chucked it around.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I would definitely see why handball would be fun. I think it's a great sport.
It is.
Have you ever played water polo, like proper water polo?
I haven't played proper water polo, but I've played like when I was part of a swim club and everything, we would kind of play practice games at the end of the school term and that, and it was all right, but I was told that games can be very fierce.
Yeah, I don't know if you know of this, but before coronavirus, I joined a water polo team.
I remember you telling me, yeah.
It was flipping insane. Like, I was, not bigging myself up or anything like that, but I was the fastest swimmer there.
Only
And
because you're the youngest.
that doesn't matter. It's probably something to do with it. I was one of the younger ones there, but because probably as well that I've only stopped swimming more recently than all of them. They probably stopped swimming like 10, 20 years ago, whereas I've only stopped swimming, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Anyway, point being, they were using me as literally, because you play 6v6 and it's very much like handball. Like, you gear up against each other and you pin the other team down against the other side. And it's almost like a counter-attacking game where you have to intercept in between.
Mm.
And I was literally told to not worry about defending. Of course, defend if you can, but I was used as a wing, and then just be chucked across, sprint, just start sprinting as fast as you can when we see the ball being intercepted, because then they'll just chuck it up to me. By the time I would get there, of course, I'll be there first. I would then be essentially the crosser to the person swimming in, if someone will be swimming in. And that tactic works so many times where you think, oh yeah, swimming was at about 20 meters or so. Isn't that bad, but sprinting up and down the whole time, where you score the goal and you have to sprint all the way back to defend. And then as you're defending, you potentially concede, and then you sprint back up to attack. And oh my word. I was saying about steaming, like in a rugby match. I was steaming in a swimming pool where it's like 25 degrees or so. I came out and I had steam coming out of me.
Jeez.
And that was in my first training session there.
Oh my God. Like, I've heard that it's quite a physical game.
It's very much like rugby, because of what goes on underwater, the referee tends to turn a blind eye to, and it's flipping annoying because the more experienced players will, of course, tug you and they'll hold you by your trunks, and you're like, well, I can't really do anything, because you like push your hand against their face and they call for a foul, or like you do anything and they call for a foul. And then, of course, when you're standing in the middle and you get the ball crossed to you, and say you're technically 1-on-1, if you look at without the goalkeeper, so 2-on-1, you're trying to get away from the defender, and the defender is essentially pushing you back as far away from the goal as he can. But then if you're trying to go around him, he can actually grab hold of you for a second. And of course, if he grabs hold of you for a second, that breaks your momentum, and then you have to start again. You can't just continue going on. So honestly, the movement in that game and the physicality in it, because of what goes on the water and what you can get away with, I would say that's actually harder than rugby potentially. I mean, I don't know if it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For me, it's up there.
And the floor is lower to the point where you can't put your feet down, so you're forced to keep treading water.
Yeah, the floor is 2 meters all the way, so you would have to sink down to touch it, unless you're flipping Peter Crouch, which you can walk on, but
on tippy toes, he can just go out, stick his mouth out.
Yeah, just have his nose out when he's breathing.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just one of those things where you can do so much, and that's why they've got the rotating subs, because it is so hard. Like ice hockey, you think, oh yeah, it's really cold in the ice rink, but these players are on and off and they're ice skating up and down the whole thing all the time, the whole rink, and they're drenched in sweat to think that it's so cold in there as well. It's I mean, saying ice hockey, I've never really been good at skating, so I've never really had a proper go with a stick as well as on ice, but I can imagine it's really hard.
I can only imagine. Like, I remember I had a friend who played water polo, and he would also like do the swimming training as well. So I would see him a fair bit, and I saw some of the scratches that he had around his shoulder and on his back. At first, I thought he got lucky. Then he was like, "No, I've just been playing water polo, mate."
I've been kicked in the eye and got a black eye from training, not even a game.
And those are your teammates.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team, Dan.
I mean, be it the guy is really good, and I think he knew how to get away from me, because I mean, I got treated very much as a experienced player because of my speed, but had it come to any ball control, that's why I wasn't in the center when I'm receiving a ball, because every time you receive it, you have to aim for the head, like to aim for the top of their head, so then they can control it. And when they receive it, they can essentially balance it.
Yeah.
And of course, if you drop the ball, that's the momentum loss. So you're just trying to put it at enough height where it's above their head, but you don't want them to be jumping too far out of the water, because then that tires them out as well. And again, loses momentum. So when you're doing that, I had no control of the ball whatsoever, because of course with swimming, I just had control of my body and my weight and, you know, the consistent speed. If I'm sprinting or holding in speed endurance and whatnot, you just go at the same speed. You're not going up, down, left, right, center, whatever it could go. So when it came to that, I was so shit. But then when speed came and actually sprinting it down on the counter, I was one of the best players. So I sprinted down on one side one time, and this guy caught up with me. I don't know what I did. I didn't catch the ball or something. And he ended up like holding me up. And as we did that, he tried to get the ball. And as he got the ball, his arm went one side. And I thought, oh, I got away from him. But as I thought I got away from him, his foot followed. And I mean, he said he did it purposely. And I was like, well, you're a bellend if you did that on purpose in training. Just flipping, whacked me in the eye. And then I was like, chlorine and a foot in my eye.
Oh, brilliant. Man. That sounds fucking brutal. Would you still go back after Corona?
Yeah. I mean, we did an hour a week of training. And I used to come out and I used to be just drenched in sweat for about half hour after that. It took so much out of me. And I like being in the water, like as an ex-swimmer, it's fun. It is a little bit more difficult than swimming, but that's part of the fun.
Okay, so we'll have that down as your third sport then, because it was futsal, water polo, what
Table
else?
tennis.
Table tennis, that was it. Yeah, so what was mine? Mine was, I haven't actually said mine yet. All right, I'll give you one of mine. Lacrosse, which is that weird Canadian one with the sticks. So I picked that up at uni, and I was shit for the whole of the first year until the second year, when I found playing the position of defense, where you have a really long stick and you can whack people, and I can hit people really hard and like push them over, and I don't really get hit much. So it's the only game that I've actually been decent at. Like, rugby's not particularly hard. You just kind of lump yourself into a ruck and make sure they don't lose the ball. Whereas this actually requires a degree of hand-eye coordination. I'm still slow, but you need to be quick, and you also need to have endurance as well. And I really enjoyed the fact that, I was actually good at a sport, and also the fact that, I guess, how do I put it? Like, it was nice to actually be part of a team that wasn't dictated by other coaches necessarily, by who the coach likes so much.
Yeah.
I was able to play with mates at uni, win, and go out and be good, be decent at a sport for once in my life.
I heard the swim team at Brighton Uni was really good. Was it in 2016, 17, I believe it was?
Oh, were they really? I had no idea. I didn't think they were particularly good from what I saw.
Wow.
Calm down, club captain.
No, I'm joking. No, I definitely got that vibe, because of course it was back in the time. It felt like it was a newly established club, so there wasn't really that hierarchy where other clubs, you had the president, you had the coach, you had, I don't know, captains, and they're the ones who are making the decisions. Everyone else just like a peasant who just is involved in the team. So I definitely see where you're coming from, and I think it should be the way like that, especially at universities where they've got what they called
committees.
Yeah, well, they've got those committees who make those the freshers do all these challenges. What's the thing called?
Like freshers challenges and initiations.
Initiation, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that definitely didn't happen at Brighton Uni. They definitely didn't happen while we were there. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you need to say definitely a few more times for it to come across.
Definitely didn't happen. I definitely was not initiated for either team. It's all good.
But anyway, it's the whole culture where that kind of ruins it for the people in first year, and that everyone's in the older years like, oh, it's fun and all that. It's like, well, I don't really get it because it's just a way to humiliate people, and
Yeah.
I get there is a way to do initiation like a fun way, like football clubs do it. I don't know if you've seen, but football clubs I know do it in the professional level where they basically make the person sing a song, whatever their choice is, stand on a chair and just fucking do it in front of the whole club, which is that's humiliation, isn't it? You
Yeah.
have to sing. It's not having to flipping eat a fish and then drink loads and then I don't know what they do at initiation. I was never initiated, thankfully. You would know better, as you definitely weren't initiated.
Of course, yes. I heard all of this secondhand. But no, yeah. Did you never have to do a dirty pint when you were at uni?
I had to do dirty pints, but it wasn't so much for me having to eat all the shit food that they were given and all the rubbish that we had to drink. I was just like there, and I remember I had an argument with the committee, and I said to them, "I'm just not going. I'm not doing initiation. I just don't want to be put in that position. I want to know that I can say no rather than be forced to be doing things." And they didn't like it. Then of course I was like, well, I'm already the captain, so
I'm not going then. Brilliant.
Yeah, are you going to come to my house and drag me out? Because I'm not coming any other way.
I love that so much. No. What was I going to say? Shit, that's really annoying.
Either way, the whole culture with universities, and I don't know if it's come from America, but it's definitely been initiated. I get it, initiated from initiation. I'll see myself out, don't worry.
Yeah. We'll stop now. If you got to this point, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
That was very quick.
Yeah.
As a fuck off to Dan.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of been within that rugby culture for a while anyway. You hear about the things they did to Martin Johnson, who was the England captain when we won the World Cup, and you're like, oh, okay, right. That's how it's always been. And I think what's happened is, people have seen that at rugby clubs and things, and they've obviously taken it to their uni rugby club, because the rugby boys are the worst for that by far, for doing all that mental shit. And other people see them doing that mental shit, and they think, oh, okay, we can create our own version. And that's kind of my theory, with zero evidence. That's just my guess for how this thing has spread and become a feature of.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stories that I've heard from the rugby teams, I will not repeat when we're recording, because they're that bad. So I just don't get the whole thing. I'm not being a little wimp about it, but I just think it loses the sense of people having freedom and choice on what to do, and I don't like that.
I completely agree. Yeah, because you're told you have to do this thing, otherwise we're not going to fully accept you or whatever.
Which is bullshit, because most teams at uni, they accept everyone and everything. So
exactly, yeah, all for not doing some weird shit. But yeah, so my two sports, handball and lacrosse, was my third one. I'm going to go with rugby because I like rugby. It's physical. As we've explained before, I really love the relationship between the refs and the players. It's just a great culture to be a part of. Apart from the initiations, I will take rugby in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So should we just quickly discuss what sports we don't like watching, we find boring, but we would happily watch the highlights of because we actually find those quite entertaining?
Okay. I would probably say I can maybe watch golf highlights because it's showing their decent shots and you can appreciate that skill if it's in a 5 or 10 minute clip. Whereas if you're showing me an entire round of golf, I will lose interest so quickly.
Okay. I think I've got quite a few for this. So, and I think you'll agree to most. First one, American football.
Yep. It's an hour-long game, and they spread it out over 4 hours.
we don't need to go into any more depth.
Exactly.
Formula One.
Yep, I'll watch the start and the end of a race, but I won't watch the middle bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cricket T20. That's where it's a bit like, well, it is kind of fun to watch and it's not boring. So I think that's where it's like treading the line of, I'll watch the highlights.
I want to take you to a T20 game. I reckon it'll be fun.
I think we need to go when things go back to some kind of normality.
We do. Hopefully that's before the end of this cricket season, which I doubt.
Yeah, I wouldn't put any hopes onto it. Athletics. So, of course, it's quite a broad sport where you've got so many things. Athletics, I wouldn't watch most races, say for the running. But
I would obviously watch the sprints. So you got the 100 meters, 200, maybe 400. After that, you're starting to lose my attention a little bit.
Yeah, watch the relays. But yeah, it depends like how quick and how convenient those highlights are going to be. I'm not going to go out my way to look for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you watch Olympic weightlifting?
Yeah, if I had nothing else to do.
Fair enough. Because in the last couple of months, I've become a little bit of a fan of Olympic weightlifting. So, and there's some lifters that I just love to watch. There's one guy, Egyptian guy called Mohammed Ihab, who's just a fucking monster.
Hang on, a guy from Egypt called Mohammed?
Yeah, I know. That's
mate, that is a rarity.
That is a rare name, isn't it? You just don't find those people anymore.
No.
The whole Arabic world, you really, really struggle to find people called Mohammed.
I don't think you even need to say Arabic anymore. I'm pretty sure that's the most common name in the world.
That's actually, I can, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. Yeah, but I've become a bit of a fan, and there are YouTube channels specifically dedicated to weightlifting, and I once spent at uni like 2 hours. It's so sad. I spent 2 hours like watching these highlights of people lifting. I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
At uni as well. You lived a life at uni, didn't you?
Oh, I really did, mate. I really did. You can forget all about Cameo. Oh, man. Good old
I know
Cameo.
what you were doing on your Monday nights then.
Yeah, recovering from the cross training. Optimal recovery. With a cider in hand, of course.
Yeah, that's how you recover.
Anyway, more sports that you would watch the highlights of.
Snooker?
Yeah, I'll agree to that.
I think that can actually be quite entertaining when you've got a little bit where someone's actually been able to hit a ball and get it into the hole, and it's like, oh, that was actually quite a good shot.
Yeah. Or they pull off these trick shots where they're going off of multiple cushions.
Yeah.
But that's very rare.
UFC, boxing?
Yeah, I wouldn't stay up to watch a UFC match, but I can appreciate the highlights.
That's what I meant with, I wouldn't really stay up until 4 o'clock or whatever the time difference Las Vegas is.
I will be honest though, I've been up to watch, Anthony Joshua fights and things, because it's Anthony Joshua, but I'm not such a fan of boxing that every single week I'm going to be tuning in. Same thing with the UFC. If it's a big fight, like obviously you've got McGregor, and that's the main one that sticks out in my mind. I will go to an effort to look up their highlights, but I will never watch a full match. I did it once and I was like, this is...
I'm exactly the same. I'm pretty sure I stayed up to watch Joshua against that little fat Mexican guy.
Which one, the first one or the second?
The second one, when Joshua beat him.
Yeah, I was so drunk for that one. I remember that. Somehow.
Yeah, that was the only one that kind of genuinely put the effort in and made sure my night was free just to watch it.
Nice. You got your money's worth.
Yeah, I guess so. It wasn't a great fight though. So
yeah, Joshua was just kind of keeping him at arm's length like that the whole time.
Yeah, and this fat guy was just like,
yeah,
I can't reach you.
Just holding it against his head, and he's just swinging his arms in vain.
Yeah. Like a propeller, like a windmill, just going at it.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe one day I'll be able to lift up and then punch him.
Another one would be ice hockey. When, again, things go back to some sort of normality, we need to go watch ice hockey because I know they're very cheap tickets and it's very good entertainment.
Is Petr Cech still playing for that Guildford team?
Yeah, so he plays for the development team, which is basically like their B team. Of course, Petr Cech is not like in the development phase of his career, but he just plays for them because, of course, he's got commitments for work, which he can't go and sign a professional contract with a Heats team. That's why he's with a Phoenix team. Phoenix is basically their B team.
Are they semi-pro then?
What, Heats?
The first team, whichever one that is.
They're professional. They're elite level. They
really?
they play in the UK top league, whatever it's called.
How much money do they make? Do you know?
I think it's enough to make a living because they're professional athletes. I'm not sure what their salary is, and don't listen to what I'm saying now, but I think it's a half decent wage.
Okay, it's enough for them to be able to rent a place and live decently, as opposed to like in some sports, like in professional lacrosse for a long time, their annual income was about 10 grand a year.
Yeah,
you're thinking that's
no.
Especially
it's very different with ice hockey because, of course, it's a very national sport in the UK, where you've got teams in Cardiff, Sheffield, Liverpool, Edinburgh. And I think it's a very American way of doing things. And without getting too into it, of course, Guildford is one of the top 5 teams, along with Sheffield Steelers, Cardiff Devils, and however many others. But of course, when players have a salary cap, living in Guildford is a lot more expensive than living in Liverpool or, Cardiff.
So are you saying that they all move up north because it's cheaper?
I don't think they're local, except the likes of Petr Cech, which, of course, he has a proper job. I would take that back. I'm not saying it's not a proper job. I'm saying he has a very high-end managerial.
It is a demanding full-time job as well as playing hockey, whereas these guys just play hockey.
Before anyone slates me for that, I took that back very quickly.
You did. You adjusted very well. I feel like that's pretty much it, unless you've got anything else.
Well, before we finish, I'd like to give some shout-outs to some good sports. Yeah. So first of all, air guitar. Second of all, beer pong championships. Third of all, NASCAR. Yeah, NASCAR is a fucking boring sport. E3, Ninja Warrior, and mini golf.
Mini golf. That does not count.
None of them fucking count.
Oh, man.
Except NASCAR.
Did you include esports in that?
Yeah.
Oh, we need to save that for another time because we're coming up to the hour mark now.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to go on.
Thanks for listening, guys. This one was a slightly different topic. It was more opinionated to us, but we hope you enjoyed it very much. And I know for a fact we both really enjoyed this one. So tune in for the next podcast, and we're very excited to bring it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much if you got to this point, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.
Cheers.